Hi and welcome to our video on serial communication for PISA-M. Today, we will look at the serial communication mode of PISA-M. Serial communication for PISA-M helps bring device data, channel control and configuration into the PLC environment. This can reduce manual setup effort, support troubleshooting and make it easier to manage multiple PISA-M devices from one interface. In this video, we will show how to read data from the device, control the outputs, and configure PISA-M via serial communication. In the previous video, we looked at TCI communication. There, we could see the status of the different channels and control the outputs directly. We could switch channels on, switch them off, or reset them. In this serial communication view, the same basic idea is still there, but we now have more functions and more detailed information. Compared with TCI, serial communication adds measured values, cyclic data reading, configuration readback, and remote parameter setting. Please keep in mind that this setup is shown for demonstration purposes only. It is not a real application in this exact form. The customer is responsible for implementing and programming the communication behavior according to their own requirements. The interface is divided into three main areas. On the left, we have data reading. This is where we can see the channel status and the measured values. In the center, we have output control. This is where we can switch the channels on, off, or reset them. On the right, we have configuration. This is where we can read back the current configuration and change settings for the device and the individual channels. We will go through the interface from left to right, so we start with data reading. Data reading has two tabs: manual data reading and cyclic data reading. Manual data reading gives us a static snapshot. It shows the current state of the device at the exact moment when we press read. So this is not a continuous view. It is one read action and one result. Before we press read, some values are still empty or marked as not read. Once we press the read button, the interface reads the current data from the PISA-M. Now we get the status for this exact point in time. We can also see that the data has been loaded. So the values shown here are the values from the moment when the read command was sent. At the top, we first see the internal address. The device address is set to universal. Next to that, we see the internal error status. It shows that there is currently no error. Then we have the input voltage, which is around 23.9 volts in this example. Below that, we can look at the individual channels. Channel 1 is switched off. It shows 0 amperes, 0% load, and the output state is off. Channel 2 is switched on. Here we can see a current of 1.2 amperes and a load of around 24%, and so this channel is operating normally. So compared with TCI, we still have the familiar channel status, but now we also get the exact current and load values for each channel. At the bottom of the data reading area, we have the call address. In this example, it is set to universal because only one PISA-M device is connected. With one serial interface, however, up to 5 PISA-M devices can be controlled through the PLC. If several devices are connected, each device can have its own address. For example, if we want to read only the first PISA-M, we can address the device that has been assigned to address 1. Now we switch to cyclic data reading. This view shows similar information such as current, load, present current limit, and output state, but it works differently. Instead of pressing read manually, the data is refreshed automatically every 1 second. That means the values update continuously while the device is running. Here, we can see some values changing dynamically during operation, such as the input voltage or the output current on channel 2. This allows us to monitor the live behavior of the PISA-M without pressing read again and again. In cyclic data reading, the address field is grayed out. For this type of cyclic communication, the call address is set to universal. Below the channel data, we also have the current trend. This chart shows the current values over time. This helps operators and service teams understand the actual load behavior of each channel without checking the device locally. It makes it easy to see live changes, peaks, and load behavior while the device is operating. Now we move to the center of the interface, output control. In output control, we can actively switch the channels on and off. Here we can see that channel 1 is currently off, while channels 2, 3, and 4 are on. The call address is set to universal, which is fine in this setup because only one device is connected. If we want to switch channel 1 on, we select on for channel 1. The interface shows that a change has been selected. Then we press send to send the command to the PISA-M. After sending the command, we can see the result in cyclic data reading. Channel 1 is now on, and the live values update accordingly. We can also switch the channel off again. After sending the command, the output state changes back, and we can clearly see that the channel has been switched off again. Now we move to the configuration area on the right. Configuration also has two tabs, Read and Set. The Read tab is used to read back the current configuration from the PISA-M. This configuration can be different for each device. At the bottom, we again have the call address. Because only one device is connected, we can use universal. But if we know that a specific device is assigned to a certain address, we can select that address directly. This makes sure that we are reading the configuration from exactly the device we want to address. This readback helps verify that the device is configured as intended, especially when several PISA-M devices are used in one machine. After pressing Read, the configuration values are updated. In Global Configuration, we can now see all features that can be set in the PISA-M, for example the tripping characteristics, power supply overload protection, communication, button reaction style, or settings locking. For a detailed explanation on the configurable settings, please check out the datasheet and user manual. We can also check if the PISA-M has adjustable output current tripping set points or has fixed channel limits. At the bottom of Global Configuration, we can see the output current tripping set point for the individual channels. So here we can see, for example, channel 2 is set to 4 ampere. Now we move to the second tab, Set. In the Set tab, we can change the configuration values. In Global Configuration, we can select the tripping characteristic, slow or fast. For power supply overload protection, we can choose low, high, or disabled. For communication, different modes are available, such as serial communication, tripping alarm, DCI, channel off alarm, or OK signal. For the full workflow shown in this video, serial communication mode must be selected. Other communication modes provide a different scope of functions. For example, manual data reading may still be possible, but the full cyclic communication is not available in the same way. Next, we have the button reaction style. Here we can choose between long press mode and standard. Then we have settings locking. This function locks the PISA-M against manual changes on the device itself. Once it is locked, settings can only be changed digitally via the PLC. Below that, we can set the current tripping set point for each channel individually. In this example, we are using an adjustable PISA-M, so each channel can be set between 1 and 8 amperes. For example, if we change channel 4 to 2 amperes, we can send this global configuration separately. Again, the call address defines which device receives the configuration. After selecting the target, we press Send. At this point, we have sent the new setting. To check whether the setting was actually applied, we go back to the Read tab and press Read again. Now the readback shows the updated value. Channel 4 is now shown with 2 amperes. This confirms that the configuration has been successfully transferred and accepted by the device. The last part of the configuration area is address configuration. This is where we can assign an address to a PISA-M device. For example, if the connected PISA-M should receive address 1, we select address 1 as the new address. The call address old field defines how the device is currently addressed before the new address is assigned. If the device is currently addressed via universal and should now become address 1, we select universal as the old call address and address 1 as the new address. Then we press Send, and the new address is saved. To check whether it has been saved, we can go back to the Manual Data Reading tab and press Read again. This allows us to confirm that the change has been applied. So to sum up, serial communication for PISA-M provides 3 main benefits. Data reading gives access to device status and measured channel values. Output control allows channels to be switched or reset remotely. Configuration enables settings to be read-back and adjusted. This makes PISA-M easier to integrate into PLC-based machine concepts and helps reduce manual work during commissioning, service, and troubleshooting. Thanks for watching. For more, check out our PULS channel or our website.